Mario. Was Arsenal good today, or was Chelsea just that bad?
I think Chelsea didn't play the game that we expected them to play. If you see sometimes when I look at Chelsea, especially in a game like this, you're playing against a team that's very good at keeping the ball in the team, and sometimes they can overplay themselves. That's like what Arsenal does. But then I felt Chelsea did identical. They came in the game, they were the upper hand, they were the team that we expected them to beat Arsenal. We didn't expect them to be the team that's trying to chase Arsenal. And as soon as things changed, Arsenal had one glimpse in the middle of the park in the beginning of the first, like maybe 10, 15 minutes. They put that right, and then they took over, and they just cruised the game all the way. Till the last 20 minutes, I felt like Chelsea was trying to come back in the game. They tried to dismantle certain things. But I never felt that Chelsea was really the Chelsea that I expected.
Well, what was missing
energy,
then?
No fighting.
What was missing in this
fighting? No, because look, Michelle, if you look at a derby, normally a derby is about like really fighting and making sure that you're ready to fight your derby and your battles. And I never felt like I saw the firepower. If you look at a winger, like if you look at the wingers that they put out, there's Pulisic on the left-hand side, you understand? And Pulisic became danger when he comes in the middle of the park, when he drops into the middle and picks up the ball and just swerves around places. But if he's an outside winger, you want him to beat his player. He never did that. Then you look on the other side, well, okay, you know he came off. But regardless of that, there is some key thing that's going on, you understand? I've been saying that for a while already. I want to see which player is really going to pick up the ball and beat the player. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to pick on them because I think they're great individuals. But what I do have to make sure that they understand a great Chelsea has wingers that can beat the player and not only wingers that can give a great ball.
Who's been the biggest disappointment to you then, Mario, the past couple of weeks? Because this sort of performance, yes, they won against West Ham, but even in that, they weren't too convincing. The scoreline flattered them, and obviously they had the back-to-back defeats as well. Who's been the most disappointing for you?
No, the most disappointing is that people are outsmarting them. Okay, let me tell you something. Kante, in the first game, they try to block him off. So they've been doing that already against Everton. They did it. West Ham is kind of looking at it too. If you look at this game now, what Arsenal did really well, they blocked Silva off and allowed Zuma on the ball. Zuma's game is not about passing. Zuma's game is about picking up his man and really man-marking him and beating him with strength, speed, power, and not giving him any mark, any position or whatever. But now they allow him on the ball. So now he is using his energy to dribble in the ball, and then Silva becomes more on a one-on-one, or the space becomes more open, and Silva's running back trying to help them. So I feel like people are watching them so closely, and Chelsea need to pick up some answers because they have to really be smarter than anybody that they're facing. If not, everybody's going to pick that up against them and try to beat them like that.
They did miss a chance to go on top here today and with the win. Where they were favourites in this one, Mario. Are they out of the title conversation already at this point?
I mean, it becomes a crucial decision. I mean, it feels it's a little bit too early because they're right in the middle of the period where it gets really diced and it gets really difficult. But if you look at, I mean, you want to come out of December, of course, good. And then January is one of the following months that is very key in the Premier League when you really can establish yourself. And what Frank just said, look, if you bring in so many key players, you expect yourself to have a team that is be able to bring that firepower that's needed. And I already said it before, this didn't look like a derby. It didn't look like a team that really was mentally ready to fight the fight that was putting at them. And I felt I was really disappointed by seeing that because normally when you turn up at a derby, you know what is needed. And the energy was way too low.
Do you think that's also influenced by the fact that not only do they have a lot of youngsters in the side, but a lot of young foreign players that they've just brought in who may not understand the size of a London derby like this, Mario?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one of the key things. Look, if you look at the experienced players that maybe had to tap some of the guys in that came new into the game, like Werner won't understand that, what kind of derby that is in England. Look, he knows derbies. I'm not questioning about him, coming from Germany because you have derbies there too. But the English derby, like for myself, when I played derbies in Holland, in England, there's a different ballgame, the way people live about that. So then you get like, is an Abraham vocal enough Is a Mount vocal enough? Is a Zuma vocal enough of using their experience and making sure Chilwell, to making sure everyone understand that, hey, this is needed when we go into the game. And I'm not sure if they all were ready and fed to that level. But then again, Frank, you understand, has enough in himself to make sure that everybody understands the game, because he has played a number of games like this. But I felt like, how can you be, compete with a team, and you know that a wounded dog, you highlighted it, Michel, yourself. You said when you face a wounded dog, it's very difficult to think that they're going to be wounded all the time, because one moment they're going to turn the corner. And look what happens. They turn the corner tonight. And Arsenal, they looked ready from the get-go. They didn't look ready as a team because they were still, open up spaces in the middle of the park. And that's where they really were focused on trying to make sure they mastermind that. But it took them a little bit. And Chelsea didn't take the advantage while they were trying to set things right. And then they came back in the game. And that's when they attacked the game.
Well, Callum HudsonOdoi did come on in the second half. What was his impact, you think, if any at all?
Yeah, look, when a player comes in, I always feel like you only come in because you got to do things different than the other ones are doing. So you expect you to be wide. What I liked about Callum, when he started playing, he was very dangerous. But then again, remember the time when Callum came into the Chelsea team, you had Hazard left and you had him right. And sometimes you could see the switch. But what is very key is that when you see things like that happen, you have to make sure that you as a player, when you come on, you have to bring that energy, danger, and the speed that you possess. And that's what I felt like I didn't see as much. I don't want to put a lot of pressure on him, because I feel like the ones that started the game should have already brought that. And then when you come on, you got to add more to it. And I felt like he couldn't get into the game the way I would like to see him in the game. How many times I'm asking for wingers to dribble past people? And I said that before, and I don't know if Chelsea really has players that can do that. I know people will say a Pulisic can do it. Yeah, but is Pulisic really a guy that will open up the game in the sense of like wide and try to dribble past people and do it over and over and over and over? How many times? I don't want to say like I want the quality of Hazard to come back, but I do want to have a player that is difficult, like when they had like a Joe Cole, Damien Duff. These are the times when Chelsea was like very difficult to stop. And I know they had a Drogba as a striker, but that was very, very difficult. We had it when we had Hasselbank and Gudjohnsen up front. We could just pass the ball to them and wait, because they could really open up things. And at this point, I don't know if Chelsea is capable to do that, because when the game is locked, you need someone to open it back up. And sometimes it's not the pass that's going to open it up. You need to speed up. And that's what I feel like they sometimes are waiting for.